Hello everyone, it's me, I'm here, how you doing? It's been a while since I've spoken in my videos, but you might have to get used to it. Hello there. I figured it's time I about make another guide since it's been over a year and a half. This time I'm covering Vanquish Soul. Don't worry, I'm not quitting heroes, but man is this deck fun. And I'm going to show you how to play it, all the way to Master Rank. I noticed this deck falling off in popularity, but I imagine a lot of people still want to play it or want to see me play it. But before we get started, I'd like to thank you all for the continued support, likes, and subs. I would appreciate you guys keep doing it. It really helps me out, and it makes this bear smile. Also, if you hear a really loud roaring furnace in the background, don't worry. That's just my furnace. It's really cold here, and I need it on full blast or else I'm going to freeze. I am dying of snowflakes over here. Now onto it. Some of you might be wondering, what exactly is Vanquish Soul? Well, I'll tell you, young people. Vanquish Soul is a very powerful fighting game themed control deck, built for flashy plays and stylish comebacks. If you want to play a deck like this, then you're going to need a lot of practice. It's pretty hard. But when you get the hang of it, you will vanquish souls with ease. But there's also quite a whole lot of this deck that needs to be known and discovered and focused before you can even play ultimately. Don't worry, Papa is here to guide you, young people. Before I get to the card explanation, I'm going to explain the pros and the cons. The pros are very good. They're extremely flexible, tons of interruption, outplay potential, massive card advantage, play on your opponent's turn. It plays around max C, amazing comeback potential. It's good for going first and second, and has great recovery and defense. Now the cons are a different story. They are very weak to stun and skill drain. Some Vanquish Soul effects can only be activated during the main phase. It struggles to go against too many negates turn 2. Not the best OTK potential. It's hard to pick up, and most important con, it needs rosin. You need rosin in your hand. Rosin is literally the Hadoken, the Ken, the Ryu, the Scorpion, the bread and butter, the peanut butter and jelly. You need rosin, seriously. It's really bad without it. Alright, with all that out of the way, I'm going to go to the card explanation and tell you why I have all these cards in there and why I don't have some. Now, I'm going to show you some replays later, but disclaimer, I did take out the Ghost Bells and replace them with Drolls. I think you need 3 of these. These are just too good not to run. Too many super heavy samurais running around, too many math mech running around. It's just, I think you need 3. I think it's non-negotiable. These are really strong hand traps now. Kurikara, I love this card. It's great for going second. It baits. You can bait a bunch of negates with these other cards. It's very easy to bait out negates because all their effects are strong. And if they negate it, or if they activate monster effects in response to your monster effects, you can distribute the whole board. And it's just hilarious how they scoop. I win so many games with just Kurikara. It's just phenomenal. Also, this is also a fire attribute. It's gonna be a ongoing theme with this deck. You want to put as many fire, dark, and earth attributes in your deck as much as you can that synergize with these other cards' effects, because you're going to need to have certain attributes in your hand for these effects to go off, and Kurikara is a fire. Maxi, Ash Blossom, also what you need. 3 Maxi are mandatory. I think it's the best card in the game. It's an earth attribute. You draw cards, you stop your opponent from comboing when you go second, or when you go first, whichever. There's a lot of cards that play on your opponent's turn. Ash, self-explanatory, negate, fire attribute. Now, Rise Heart is another fire attribute in your hand, and it's also in tandem with Fenrir. You can either use the Pressure Planet Race Off. You don't have to run this field spell if you don't want to. I personally like to run it because it searches for these 2 guys. You can add either Earth or Fire in your hand, or if you're going first and you have this in your hand, you can just search for Fenrir. Fenrir slaps in the field, and you search for Rise Heart. And you have a fire attribute and a huge monster eruption turn 1 before you can even normal summon. But now we get to the Holy Boy, the Golden Boy, the Holy Jade, whatever you want to call him, Vanquish Soul, Rosin. This card is the best card in your deck by far. If you have Rosin in your hand, you don't brick. If you don't have rosin in your hand, you super brick. So it's very important to have rosin in your hand, opening hand, or if you just top deck it. Now, why is he so good? If you normal summon or special summon him, you can add 1 non-warrior Vanquish Soul monster, which is any Vanquish Soul monster in the deck besides rosin. And he's got 2 really strong effects. You can't be destroyed by card effects if you reveal a fire, or if you feel reveal a fire in a dark, you destroy all monsters in this card's column. It's very easy to out a board with like a boss monster with just rosin. And if they negate him, that's just absorbs and negate. You can actually play around rosin being negated. Yes, he is the best card in the deck, but if he gets negated, you can still play around it because you can link him off into Rock. Rock can just add him back to your hand, and you have follow-up next turn. This deck is all about follow-up. It's not about killing your opponent fast. It's about control, card advantage. So with Rosin, just he is the key to all that card advantage. He's a key to all that control, and he's a key to all that win condition. And then we got the one of Vanquish Pantera. This card's actually pretty good on her own. I don't think you need to run more than one of her. She's got a special ability to special summon herself to the field if you control no monsters in the main monster zone. Now this is actually, it's good and bad. You can summon for free, but they can also activate Maxi on your activation, so be careful. But if you have a negate, please negate the Maxi. You don't want to have them draw random cards for free. She's got a special ability, or two I should say. She can't be destroyed by battle. You don't really want to use this one. It's not really that great. But Earth and Fire, you destroy a back row. It's actually really good. It's really good to destroy back row for practically free. Or you force them to activate it. Let's just say it's an imperm. You're forced to imperm. You're forced to activate a back row. It's actually really good pressure, just her alone. And she's also not attribute. You're gonna need that. Next we get to Dr. Madlove. Madlove is actually a pretty good card, pretty flexible. When summon, you can add a Vanquish Soul spell or trap from your deck to your hand. This is the searcher for your 3 back row. These 2, I'll get to those in a minute. But she also got a very good effect. This one's actually not that bad. Like you can, target a face-up monster, non-target, and reduce their attack and defense by 500. The only bad thing is you can only use one of these effects per turn. So this would be great if you could use both, because you could reduce the defense of a monster, and you use the Dark Earth effect to return one monster with lowest defense in the field to the hand. Now, you don't really use this too often, you just use it for the summon, but if you have a monster, let's say Pearly, or a monster with really low defense, you can just bounce it back to the hand. It's actually really disruptive on her own, but you mostly just use it to search for a back row, and you also use her to tag out with Borger, but we'll get to him in a minute. Oh, also another small thing with Madlove is if a Vanquish Soul monster is targeted by a card effect, you can actually use her effect to bounce your own Vanquish Soul monster back to your hand. Now, Borger, Valius, Rosin, they all have low defense, so you most likely will be able to be bouncing them back to the hand if they're threatened with a card effect target. Vanquish Soul Jiaolong is your main searcher. Now, when you have 2 fire attributes in your hand, you can add 1 Vanquish Soul card, anything. Either it's a monster or it's one of your spell or traps to your hand per turn. Now, also, he's got a secret effect. When you activate a Vanquish Soul card effect that reveals cards in your hand as a cost, you can special summon Jiaolong from your hand to the field. This is insane value, because when Jiaolong's in the hand, you can just get a free summon, and if you have 2 fire attributes, you can automatically start searching for any card you need. Now, very good attack, very good effect. It's got so many tools. Jiaolong himself is the one that gets you so much card advantage every turn with Borger. There's some synergy with Stake Your Soul. I'll get to that in a minute. But Jiaolong, very nice to have. I run 2. You could run 3 if you want to, but I just for sake of fitting everything I want in the deck at 40 cards, I have him at 2. But I will not blame you if you run number 3. And this is also what I'm talking about when I say Vanquish Soul has great recovery and defense, because Jiaolong's got another effect. If you have a fire monster in your hand, just 1, you can change the battle position of 1 monster in the field. This is actually, it's better than you think, because during a battle phase, if a boss monster is running into one of your monsters, you could just reveal it and put it in defense mode. Or if you want to be sneaky, you can use Dust Devil in synergy with his effect. I'll explain more about this when I get to it, but I'm saying this deck has a lot of options, trust me. Now we're going to get to the non-Vanquish Soul cards of the deck. We're going to do all in one explanation. Dimension Shift is pretty self-explanatory. If you have no cards in your graveyard, you can send it to the graveyard and all cards will be banished. This is pretty much a good card for going second. You can interrupt their whole turn by them just not playing anything because they don't want their cards banished most of the time. Even if it's on your turn, turn 1, you can actually just summon a Vanquish monster, make rock, add the link with the monster back in your hand, and you can just shift it on their turn. Or on your turn before you end the phase. So, it's also a dark attribute. Very good to have. It's very good. Fenrir, self-explanatory. I'm going to go over this a little bit, even though I've explained it already. Free interruption, free tunnel vision, free disruption, earth attribute. Very great. I prefer running it. I would even if it's at 1, I still think it's worth running. It's really good. Heartbeat for the Duster, destroy back row in case you have like skill drain or stun cards that you can't deal with, or floodgates, or anything that just makes them can't play the game. Rhoda, Rosin search for Rosin. You can search for this if you have 3 of your Rosins used up. You can add Reinhardt, but you mostly just use this to search for your Rosin. Durandal, another Rosin search. You equip it to a monster in the field, and you can use it to search for a Rosin. That's pretty much the whole purpose. Is to get Rosin to your hand as much as possible. Rosin is the key. Rosin is the answer. Rosin is the prophecy. Pressure Planet Race Off. You search for one of the Kashtiras. You add an attribute to your hand, and you get a boost on the field, depending on how many different attributes you have. And boy, do they have different attributes. So, it's a nice little boost of attack and defense, and you mostly use it to search for your Fenrir. Called by, protection, interruption for their plays, if you set it, or if you want to protect yourself from Max C or Ash Blossom, just throw this down, banish it. Pretty simple explanatory stuff. Now there could be only one. This is a very controversial card. I only have it in my deck for Labyrinth, Mathmech, and Super Heavy Samurai. I hate Labyrinth with every fiber of my being. I hate that deck the most. And I also hate Mathmech. You people probably know that I don't like Mathmech. And Super Heavy Samurai. That deck is just so gimmicky, but it's so busted at the same time. If you have this, they can't do anything. They just squirm and scoop. It's so funny. But I mostly just do this for Labyrinth because I hate them. I hate them a little bit. Now back to the Vanquish Soul cards. We're going to talk about Stake Your Soul. Reveal a monster in your hand, any monster, which is why I said the attributes are very important in your deck. You special summon a Vanquish Soul monster with the same attribute but different name from the deck to the field. This is a very strong card because you can get Rosin very easily. You reveal Ash, Kurikara, or Jiao Long. Now, you can also use this to summon Mad Love if you want to, but you mostly use it to summon a Rosin. This is just 3 copies of Rosin. You really need Rosin in the field. But the active effect is to return it back to your hand. You could easily just stop this by either linking the Rosin off or any Vanquish Soul monster you summon to the graveyard to make rock, and you can add it back to your hand. Very easy. Or if you have Valius and Borger, you can tag them out to summon them to the field, and you basically just negate that side effect. This is a very flexible card, but mostly what you primarily want to do is to summon a Rosin with this card. So you have 3 more copies of Rosin, along with the Durandal and the Rhoda. It's very consistent. I made it to where I can summon Rosin a lot. Now another thing you could do with Stake Your Soul is that you can also summon Jiao Long if you have Rosin in your hand already. Rosin could be targeted, and you can summon Jiao Long to the field, and on top of that, you can normal summon a Rosin to the field and search for another Jiao Long. Now you have 3 fire attributes between the field and the hand, and you can link off with a rock. Link Rosin off the rock. Rock can add Rosin back to your hand. Jiao Long has 2 fire attributes in the hand to search for any Vanquish Soul card, which is Snow Devil, most likely, or another monster. It's very flexible. You can. It's such a good card to have. And your primary targets, your number 1 target is Rosin, and your second target is Jiao Long. They're very good to search for and summon to the field. Now, if you have Jiao Long that's been summoned with Stake Your Soul, it's going to bounce back to your hand at the end of the turn. What you can do is that you can link off Jialong if you want to, and you can make Rock, add Jialong back to your hand. Rosin, you can summon Rosin and search for another Vanquishable monster, reveal his card effect to be not destroy the card effect, and you can summon Jialong back to the field. It's very, very flexible. It's very good, and you can also bait Ash Blossom if you already have Rosin in your hand. You can still target maybe Ash, maybe create a card to hide that you have Rosin. And if they Ash it, you can just summon Rosin to the field. It's a lot you can do with like a lot of cards in this deck. Now I saved these big boys for last because they require a lot of explanation. I'm going to talk about Vanquish Heavy Border and Caesar Valius. These are pretty much your tag outs of the deck. They're the only monsters in the deck currently that have the ability to tag out a Vanquishable monster for themselves. It's very good interruption. You could dodge targets. You could either even dodge non-targets. If you have a Rosin that's being targeted for destruction or a target for banish, you can tag out any of these two, and you can send them to the field to keep your Rosin. Your Rosin, you definitely want to protect your Rosin as much as you can. But with Heavy Borger, he by himself is a massive threat because every turn, if you have a dark monster in your hand, aka Shifter or Dark Mad Love, you can draw a card. This is very broken because you can draw a card every turn until you have the follow-up you need. You just draw a card. Also, the second ability, Earth and Fire, inflict 1500 to your opponent. If you activate this effect 6 times, you win the game. So you could put your opponents on a timer, or you can just keep drawing cards and be greedy, like me. I draw a lot of cards because I like having card advantage, I like having follow-up. But this is a very underrated effect, Earth and Fire, inflict 15. You put so much pressure on them with life points that they probably have to, you know, do their plays pretty quickly or else they just burn to death. But normally, drawing a card every turn is pretty good because you might be drawing into Vanquishable monsters or cards like Maxi or Ash Blossom. And there also attribute requires in your hands for activate Snow Devil or Valius. But I normally like to go for draw 1 because I love card advantage and I love follow-up. But if you want to apply so much pressure and you already have enough cards in your hand that you think you don't need any more follow-up, you can just burn for 15. Drawing a card is not always the answer, but inflicting 1500 is it's a little less linear, or I say a little more linear than drawing a card. Burning for 15 is pretty broken. Every turn it's like attacking directly with a 1500 monster. They can't do anything about it. Borger himself just applies so much pressure, either card advantage or burn. And also the ability to tag out for another Vanquishable monster. Or, sorry, I got that backwards. Tag out Vanquishable monster for itself. And now you get the boss monster, Vanquishable Caesar Valius. He is the boss monster with 3000 attack. He has the DPE effect. Instead of destroying himself, he just destroying another card in the field. But you have to have an Earth, Fire, and Dark in your hand to destroy one other card in the field. It's actually not that hard. You just have to have, like, again, this is when Borger comes in. You can just keep drawing cards, and if you have a high chance of drawing all the attributes you need to activate Valius' effect. And just like Borger, Valius has the effect to tag out a Vanquishable monster for himself. And he's also got another, this one's underrated, where if you reveal Earth monster, he's unaffected by activated effects. That's actually pretty huge. He is just basically invincible if you need, you know, Valius in the field for some reason. But you mostly just want to use this Earth, Fire, Dark to pop a card. It's very good disruption. I have so many games where I just use this effect to destroy a card in the field in tandem with Rosin's effect. You have so much destruction and so much interruption that they probably just can't play around it or play through it, and they just scoop. This can be a very oppressive card because you get to pop a card every single turn if you don't get rid of him. You have to get rid of Valius, but he's really hard to get rid of with your spell and traps. That I'll explain in a minute. But Caesar Valius, I run 2. A lot of people run 1 only, but I think 2 is correct. I think himself with another Earth attribute in the hand or in the graveyard, if they get rid of one Valius, you have another one. I think this card is worth running 2. Just like Borger. Borger, you can run 3. I run 2 only because I want space for everything else. So I think 2 Borger is good, 2 Valius is good. They're both phenomenal cards, and you should definitely run at least 2 each. Okay, the final cards in the main deck are the Vanquish Spell and Traps. We're going to talk about Vanquish Dust Devil. Dust Devil is a non-target Book of Moon. The only thing you're targeting is your Vanquish monster. And you Book of Moon monsters on your opponent's field for every Vanquish monster you control. That is huge. You can get at least 2. Easily 2 on the field. And you Book of Moon 2 monsters. This shuts down Link summons, shuts down Synchro summons, XC summons. The only thing it doesn't shut down is fusion summons, but that's not very common compared to the meta. The meta likes to link and they like to XCs and synchro. But if you Book of Moon them, you can't do anything with that card at all. So this is very, very, very strong. You also can shut down monsters that can't be targeted by card effects, that can't be destroyed by card effects, that can't be, whatever. You can actually easily Book of Moon them in Rosin, and Valius can take care of them because they're face down, their effects are turned off. So Dust Devil is very, very good. It's a quick play spell, quick play Book of Moon, multiple Book of Moon, and it's just insane. It solo wins you games. They scoop immediately, especially for examples like Super Heavy Samurai. If you Book of Moon the right monster, they're screwed. If you Book of Moon Kashtira, they're 1 summon, they're screwed. If you Book of Moon Mathmech or Sprite, they can't do anything, and it's just over for them. This card is phenomenal. Definitely run it. Vanquish will continue. This is probably the most flexible of the 3, because you can either Monster Reborn your Vanquish monster to the field or add it to your hand for a cost for another Vanquish monster as effect to activate. Now what you can do, I'm just gonna probably give you a little bit of examples. You can summon Mad Love back to the field, search for either of these 2 to your hand, or you summon Mad Love, and if you have a Dark and Earth in your hand, you can use Mad Love's effect to bounce one of the monsters back to your hand. Or you can summon a Rosin, the Monster Reborn, and get their effects, Jiao Long, and any monster, and you can take advantage of their effects immediately. If you don't need to do that, you can add any Vanquish monster back to your hand, and that attribute will be counted towards the cost of the Vanquish on the field. So for example, if you have Rosin on the field, and you have a Borger in your hand, and you need another fire attribute to activate to destroy cards in the field, you can use Continue to add Jiao back to your hand, and now you have a Dark and a Fire, and you can destroy a monster in the column. It's a very, very flexible card. It's definitely worth running. It's such a good, underrated card. You just have to pay 500 light points, and you get a Monster Born or an add back to your hand. Very strong. And now, Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. This is your trump card. This is your surprise board wipe. If you have a Dark, Fire, and Earth, you can activate all 3 of their effects. The first effect is inflict 400 damage, summon a Vanquish monster from your hand, inflict 600 more damage, and Vanquish monsters can't be destroyed by card effects. And the third one is what you want to have it fully online. Inflict 800 damage, and they destroy all monsters on the field. Now, when all the 3 of these effects activate, you can summon a Vanquish monster to the field. You're burning for 1,000. Vanquish monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects, and destroy all monsters in the field, which means your Vanquish monsters are not being destroyed. It's just other non-Vanquish monsters, aka your opponent's monsters. This is by far the strongest trap card in your deck. I'm saying that because I have 2 trap cards, but you definitely want to search this with Jiao Long. Jiao Long, on your turn, you search for this, and you set this, and on the next turn, you can search for another monster that you need for the attribute to have this fully online. You want this in your hand ASAP. This is such a good card to have. It also, you don't even have to use it to destroy their board. You can also use it to protect your monsters from dying. For example, if you get Regeki or Lightning Storm, you can just activate this and they can't be destroyed by card effects this turn at all. Even the Vanquish monsters that you summon to the field after you use this effect, they can't be destroyed by card effects either. People are very confused at this part they think that it's only monsters that you control currently, but if you tag out for Valius and for Borger, they can't be destroyed by card effects either. So it's people get it. People don't understand this card fully, but it's dirty. You can get away with dirty effects. When I say dirty effects, I mean if you use all 3 of these effects, you're burning for 1800 damage. Now, this is why I'm saying it's dirty. You can actually get a sneaky lethal because of Borger. Borger can inflict for 15, and this trap card itself inflicts for 1800. That's automatically 3,300 damage. Burst damage. That's 3,300 damage that you can just kill them with. Now, if you activate Borger's effect before your end phase, you can burn for 15 on your turn, and on your opponent's turn, if you have this set up, you can burn for 15 again, and you can burn with Snow Devil, and they're just dead. That's 4,800 damage. That's so much damage at once. So, Snow Devil is by far worth running. It's very strong. It's one of your strongest cards. It's your board wipe. It's your burn. It's your protection. It's everything. Run it. Now, with the main deck out of the way, I'm going to explain the extra deck cards. Now, the extra deck cards are pretty flexible. Vanquish doesn't care too much about the extra deck except for Rock and Zeus and an Xyz monster. But you can pretty much put whatever you want. They're mostly filler, but you can add whatever you like. I have these cards because I prefer to run these the most. You just start with Evil Swarm, X-Ton Knight. This is just a board wipe. If your opponent has more cards in their hand on the field than you do, you could attach a material on your turn or their battle phase and destroy all cards in the field. But remember, they don't take any more damage that turn, so don't take it as lethal. You're just clearing the board, controlling the field. It's good. I haven't used it yet, but it could definitely be useful for whenever you need to board wipe, if you really need that desperate board wipe. But yeah, it's not really much to talk about. You don't really need it, but I want it. Next we're going to talk about the Zoo package. You have 2 monsters, mostly Rosin and Mad Love, or the special summon Pentara and a Rosin to make Chakanine to board bow, attack directly, and you get your Zeus. If it's on turn 1, you just go for Trident. Just remove an Xyz material, destroy a face-up card in the field. Good interruption. Nice little pop in case you need more interruption. And obviously Zeus, you want Zeus out with a board bow, just attack directly, and you can just Xyz all your Zodiac monsters, and then you can link Zeus, have like a 6 material Zeus, a really big boy. Cerberus, if you needed to destroy a special summon monster, if you're running out of juice, destroy a special summon monster they control, or Nightmare Phoenix, destroy a back row, problematic back row. Hita and Dark. I like to have these 2 because I can, for the Vanquish Mirror, I can link off Rosin or Jiaolong to make Hita, and Monster Reborn their own Jiaolong or their own Rosin. I can get a Rosin that can use their effect. Dark, you can sneak for a juicy Dark monster they have. Dark is a very common attribute. You could link off Mad Love or Borger, and you can make it to steal one of the Dark monsters. It's good. Underworld Goddess, if it's that point where you have like a bunch of monsters in the field and it's like late game, you can link your 4 monsters in a 5th monster to make Goddess and negate their whole field. It's good. I haven't got a chance to use it yet, but I have it in there just in case I need it. And the most important cards, Rock the Vanquisher. You link one Vanquisher monster, and it's got 2 effects. You can special summon a Vanquisher monster from your hand, or you can add a Vanquisher monster from your graveyard to your hand. Now, the only bad thing is you can only use this during the main phase. You can't use this in any other phase, which is pretty. It sucks when it's their opponent's turn. They draw a card during the draw phase that gets impermanent, and it's just shut down, and it sucks. You can't summon a Vanquisher monster from your hand. Normally you can, but you just gotta watch out for that. Just make sure you have follow-up in case they do negate this. But on your turn, if they don't have imperm, you can special summon a monster from your hand or add it back to your hand. Or graveyard back to your hand. It's actually really, really good. This is probably your main extra deck summon. You can get a Vanquish off the field if it's affected by Stake Your Soul, or if it's negated with Imperm, you can get off the field, add it back to your hand. It's a pretty flexible Link monster, given what I've said. It could definitely ignite plays, so you can summon a Rosin to your field on your opponent's turn and pop their normal summon or their special summon into column. Normally, if a good player, you know, they like to summon their monster in the same column as your rock, so you're forced to destroy your rock if you summon a Rosin, which is fine. Rock being destroyed is not the biggest deal. It serves its purpose. It summons a Rosin or Valius, or maybe hell even Jiaolong or whatever you need. But you mostly want to summon a Rosin from your hand or Valius just to have that further interruption. If this is destroyed, it's not a big deal. But most players don't really think about summoning their monster in the same column as Vanquisher, Rock of the Vanquisher anyway. You can just get a free pop by matching their summon with your summon and you destroy it. So Rock is very good for plays, it's very good for follow-up, and it's just, you need 3. I think you need 3. That is the most important Link monster, and it gives you more plays in general. But that is pretty much the whole deck rundown. You can change this whatever you want. I just like to have this stuff. It's all stuff you can change, but the 3 cards that you need in your extra deck are 3 rocks. I think those are mandatory. But yeah, that's the whole deck, and I'm going to go straight to the explanation of the card synergies. The first pair I want to talk about is Maxi and Dimension Shifter. Yes, these are non-Vanquish Soul monsters, but they're very powerful together. This is especially good for going second. If you got second, you're most likely going to be able to draw your Shifter and your Maxi because you have multiple copies. This is very dirty. You can activate Dimension Shifter, go to the graveyard, and in your same chain, you want to throw in Maxi. This is where all monsters or all cards are banished. Instead, they're being sent to the graveyard, but in that chain, you can still send this to the graveyard. And now you have the effects of Dimension Shifter and Maxi. So if they decide to play through Dimension Shifter, you're getting a card draw for every time you special summon. So they're getting banished cards and you're drawing cards. It is so oppressive to have these two together. It most likely shuts down their turn. They just pass. And the best part about this deck, it's very, very good at setting up. Even on empty fields, you can set up multiple disruptions. You may not be able to kill them, but you'll definitely set the tempo, and you have way more tempo over them that it won't even matter if you kill them or not. They most likely won't be able to play through the game with all your interruption and your setup. The next pair of synergies I want to talk about, I've already briefly explained it already, but I'm going to go over it again, is Rosin and Jiaolong. They're very good together because Rosin can search for Jiaolong himself, and if you have another fire attribute, aka Ash, Kurikara, or Rise Heart, you can reveal Jiaolong in your hand to make him non-destructed by card effects, and then Jiaolong's effect activates if you activated a Vanquish Soul card's effect to reveal attributes in the hand for cost. You can special summon him to the field. So you have Jiaolong in the field, and then Rosin can link off to Rock. Rock adds Rosin back to the hand, and now you have 2 fire attribute monsters, and Jiaolong himself can reveal 2 fire attributes, and search for a Vanquish Soul card, aka Snow Devil. So, just from Rosin himself that searches for Jiaolong, you get so much card advantage immediately, and these two together are great. Jiaolong is also a very good partner with Mad Love. This is a pretty underrated combo because Mad Love can generate card advantage by just using her effect to reveal Dark and Earth to bounce a monster, most likely your opponent's monster, back to the field or extra deck. And when you activate this effect, Jiaolong can be special summoned back to the field. And if Jiaolong has the right attributes, 2 fires, he can search for a Vanquish Soul monster, aka Valius or Borga, to your hand on your opponent's turn. Now, they're -1 and you're +1, you're +2. You draw, you get a Vanquish Soul card you want, and you have Jiaolong on the field. This is pretty good synergy because even if you want to reduce their attack and defense, even just for that, you can reduce their attack and defense, and you activate Jiaolong's effect in the hand to summon to the field. So you're getting more card advantage just for having Madlove's effect activate and Jiaolong in your hand. So pretty underrated combo, but it's there whenever you want to do it. And Jiaolong is the gift that keeps on giving because he's got even more synergy. Vanquish Jiaolong and Dust Devil. This is a dirty combo. The only reason why I'm bringing this up is because you can do a really sneaky play. For example, if a person actually understands what Dust Devil does, it changes the position of a Vanquish monster you control to whatever position you want in Book of Moons. So if it could be really telegraphed. For example, if you summon Heavy Borger and you tag out a Vanquish monster and summon him in defense mode and you set a back row, it could be like alarming, alarming for your opponent that could be Dust Devil, because why would you put this in defense mode? You want it in attack mode because defense mode's crap. It's only 1500. So a good player can see, oh, you have Dust Devil, so they might play around it. What you can do with Jiaolong on the field and you have another Vanquish monster, you can put this in attack mode and you disguise your Dust Devil. When they have a monster and you're ready to play Dust Devil, you Dust Devil, you put this in defense mode and you book them with their monsters. And if they somehow play around their stuff on their turn, you can use Jiaolong's effect to put this in attack mode. So with Jiaolong on the field, you don't have to worry about putting this in defense mode. You can just have it, you can just put it in attack mode after you Dust Devil. Or even on your turn, you summon this in attack mode. They might not be afraid to use their effects because they don't think you have Dust Devil, and then you use Dust Devil. And Jiaolong, they put this back in attack mode, and you can run over the monsters. It is so crazy on what Jiaolong can do for this deck. He has two very good effects. You can one fire monster or two fire monsters, and you can activate any effect you want. Jiaolong's just too good. And since we're talking about Jiaolong, I'm gonna talk about one more synergy, and it's with Borger. Now, if you have Jiaolong and Borger in the field, you can use Jiaolong's effect to search for a Vanquish monster first, chain 1, and you can use Borger's effect, chain link 2, to search to draw a card. Now, if you draw a card that you need, you can search for any Vanquish monster you want, depending on the card you draw. So you're drawing two cards with these two on the field. That's just insane value. Another thing you could do with these two cards is if you have Jiaolong in your hand, or on the field I should say, and you search for a monster, any Vanquish monster on your opponent's turn, you can use Borger in your hand to tag out for himself, and you can use Borger's effect to either burn for 15 or draw a card. Now if you have Jiaolong in your hand, you already have the fire monster, the earth monster can burn for 15. And when you activate burn for 15, you summon Jiaolong back to the field. So you have Jiaolong and Borger on the field simultaneously. Either they're on the field already, or you can put them both on the field with their activating their effects together. Next, we're going back to Borger and Valius. These guys are pretty good together because they both are costs for their attributes or their card effects. Like Borger, you need a Earth and Fire to affect 15. Valius is in your hand, that's Death and Earth. And with Valius on the field, you can tag out Borger for Valius, and you have your Dark Monster in your hand. So they're really good for their costs, each other's costs, and they both tag out. So you can either tag out two monsters on the field or just one. You can tag out Rosin to tag out into Borger, and after you use his effect, you can tag out Borger for Valius and use his effect. So all these link together with the cost of the attributes in your hand to activate their effects one by one. Pretty good stuff. And another simple but good synergy is Borger and Madlove. Madlove is a dark attribute monster that can be summoned, and you can search for a back row card for Vanquish Soul. And after you're done using her effect, you can tag out Borger, or tag out with Borger, and Borger's effect activates. So if you have a dark monster, you can draw a card. So you're getting +2. You're getting the Vanquish Soul Spiral Trap, and you're drawing a card. Pretty simple, but very good. Another short, simple Borger synergy is with Rosin. Rosin is summoned to the field. Rosin can search for Borger. Borger is a dark attribute, and if you have a fire monster in your hand, you can destroy all monsters in the column. And after you're done with Rosin's effect, you can tag out with Borger, and with Rosin in your hand, and you have Earth Monster, aka Maxi Valius, you get burned for 15. Pretty good stuff, and you can just dodge and negate if you want to. Normally, when they have on turn 1, they have a Gamma, Frame Gamma, they could just negate and destroy. You could just tag out Rosin's for Borger, and Rosin's not destroyed. You don't get the search, but it's fine. You get the body on the field, and you protect your Rosin from dying. Same with Imperm, dodge with this. And so, what I normally like to do, I like to search for Borger if I already have Jiaolong in my hand, and set up for destruction on turn 2. If I'm going second anyway. If I'm going first, it'd be different. But it's just worth mentioning because they both have pretty good synergy together. And the last synergy that I like to go over again, I did it before, but I'm going to go for, I'm just going to say it again, is Borger and Snow Devil. You can do massive amounts of damage with just these 2 cards. I like to do this for a finisher. If they have like Labyrinth or like stuff that I can't get over with attacking, I can just burn them for game. Because like I mentioned, these 2 together are 3,300 damage. Or if you use this on your turn, you burn it for extra 15, so you're doing 4,800 damage. Which is nuts. You're blasting them for over half their life points, and at this point in the game, during the late game, you probably have enough damage to just straight up kill them. It's it's not very common to do, but I'm going to show you an example of how you can get it done in one of the replays. Alright, my pupils, we are in the first replay, and we're going against Sword Soul, and I'm going second. So as you can see, my hand's pretty good. I got Rosin, I got Mad Love, I got Fenrir, and Dust Devil. Pretty crazy hand. And on top of that, we have Dimension Shifter. So this is pretty good going second. I'm going to Dimension Shifter immediately, and he's going for Sword Soul. Plays anyway, which is fine by me. All his monsters are being banished. He searches for Moye. Uses the basic Moye combos. ABC 1, 2, 3 combos. Now I noticed that he used Pot Desires, which means he's digging for more follow-up. He doesn't really have a really good hand, it looks like. He searched for Long Yuan, and he's drawing 2 cards by banishing 10 more cards. So it's showing me that he's desperate for an answer for follow-up. And all his cards are being banished. He doesn't have any real plays except for banishing a worm from the hand with Chi Shao, and he's going to go for Long Yuan. He's going to summon for Baron de Fleur. That's all he can really do. So his end board, he's got a Baron de Fleur, which is Omni Negate, and he's got a Chi Shao, which is a Monster Negate. And there's normally a back row that could either be Sword Soul Blackout or it could be an Imperm. So I'm just imagining this is Imperm because most Sword Soul players like to run 3 Imperm. So they have a Omni Negate, Monster Negate, and Monster Negate. So how am I going to play around this? Well, it's pretty easy. I'll show you how to play around this properly. I'm going to summon Fenrir first because Fenrir is just ultimate, just free value. You summon Fenrir, and now they have a choice between negating this with Chi Shao or Imperm, or negating this with Baron de Fleur. So what I'm trying to do is I'm looking at Baron de Fleur. I want to use Rosin's effect and put it on this column because I'm checkmating him because I'm going to search for a Vanquish Soul monster first, probably Valius, and he has to either respect Rosin entirely by just negating and getting it over with and destroying him so I don't get a card search, or he has to negate my column destruction. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to actually summon Fenrir and have him checkmated. If he activates Baron's effect, Fenrir is going to activate and banish it. Rosin in the column, he's forced to negate it, but we talked about this. Borger can tag any Vanquish tool out for itself, and it won't be destroyed. I protect my Rosin, and he used up his negate. However, before that, I'm going to Dust Devil. I'm going to put this in defense mode, and I'm going to book him into Chi Shao because he still has his monster negate left. And he's got really poor defense, so he's very easy to run over. Book that. Tag out for Borger. Negate's been used up. Now, Fenrir activates. Now the only way to stop this is Imperm. And I can just banish Baron. But it is Imperm, which is fine. I'm just gonna change Borger's effect to draw a card. It might be something good. And it is. It's Valius. Fine by me. He has no other play left. The reason why I'm saying that is because Baron has been neutralized, and his Chi Shao is gone, and his Imperm's used up. So what can I do? I can attack over his Chi Shao. I can tag out Borger for Valius, and just either run it over, just kamikaze, or I could save it up for next turn with linking off into Rock and summon Rosin next turn. But no, I just want to kill it. I'm perfectly fine with trading my Valius for Baron when he has nothing in the field. He knows he's done, he scoops, it's over. Like I said, this deck is very good at recovery and defense and interruption. Alright, we're on our second replay, and this time we're going into Labyrinth, and again, I'm going second. Now, I have Dimension Shifter in my hand, but at this point, I don't really want to shotgun Shifter. I want to see what he's playing first. I didn't know what he was playing. The only reason why I wanted to wait is because if he's going Super Heavy Samurai, he can just not commit and save his stuff till next turn. Or any deck of that matter, they could just pass, and I don't have too much follow-up to shut him down. I do have Tikaboo, but I was just wanting to see what he was playing. I want to see if I could screw him up by a cost of like sending stuff to the graveyard. But instead, I waited a little too long because Labyrinth has this thing where they actually discard for cost. And at this point, I'm like, I kind of lose value on D-Shifter, so I just choose not to do it. It's Labyrinth, it's discard for cost, he already gets his effects. And I kind of get to this point, I'm like, man, I don't want to use this now. It's Labyrinth. It's not too big a deal for them. They can just set it for pass. I have to ask welcome that. So my Shifter is dead, that's fine. I have an attribute for it for other Vanquish monsters. So I shut his play down. He only had Big Welcome. He has 2 Big Welcomes in his graveyard. So even though he doesn't have much on the field, he's not out of the woods yet. He can definitely do some plays with his back row. So I'm going to see what he has. It's a Welcome. Someone's Lovely. I go for Sacred Soul, for Rosin, to summon Rosin in this column. I go for Search. I search for Borger, because I already have a Fire monster, and Borger is a pretty good card to search for Rosin's effect if you already have Jialong. And with a Dark monster in my hand, I could use this to draw a card with Shifter. I'm going to attempt to destroy his Lovely, but I know he has Big Welcome, which is fine. He's going to bounce it back. Again, this is perfectly fine. I'm good, because I have a heavy Borger to tag out Rosin for Borger. His Big Welcome whiffs. And since I activated Rosin's effect to destroy Lovely, Jialong's effect activates from the hand to summon to the field. Then I'm going to chain Borger's effect to draw a card, see if I get anything good. And what do you know? I get another Rosin, which is 2 fire monsters. You know what that means. 2 fires, search for anything. Search for Valius. Lovely has 2900 attack. Valius has 3000 attack. Simply tag out Borger for Valius. Reload those monsters. He's got 1 card left, and I have Tikaboo and Snow Devil. Now, Snow Devil may not be completely online, but it'll be online when I tag out Borger for Valius, and now I have an Earth, Fire, and Dark in my hand because of Shifter. So even if he does somehow summons one of his Labyrinth monsters, I could wipe it from the field if I want to, and Tikaboo makes it where you can only summon 1 Fiend monster. So he's pretty much screwed. He has no other play left. I'm gonna search for another Megwhistle card. Activate Tikaboo. He's cooked. He's done. He's out of there. Very easy, very simple, very strong. Hey y'all, look. Look at the devastating combo. Mexican Dimension Shifter. Now I'm going against Super Heavy Samurai. Again, I lost a coin flip, so I'm going second, which is fine with me. Whenever I see a monster that I feel is problematic, or if I recognize if a shifter is going to be very good to shut down his play, that's when I'm going to activate. Now I don't want to activate Shifter and Maxi on an open empty field because I'm afraid of Gamma, so I'm going to wait for him to summon a monster. And what do you know? It's his Super Heavy Samurai, which is pretty much game. I pretty much win the game because they have no answer for this. I'm just going to Shifter and Maxi. What are they going to do? They have to pass. They can't do anything. And he's like, screw it. I'll just pass. Now, this hand's pretty dirty. Very, very, very good setup. I have Rosin in my hand already. I have Pantara to special summon. I have Rhoda to search for a Rosin. I have Durandal to search for a Rosin. So if he has Ash Blossom, there's just no going around me having Rosin on the field. I Durandal first for his Ash. He doesn't have Ash. I get Rosin. And I may as well get another Rosin with Rhoda. So I have 2 fires. Great. Now I have 2 fires in my hand when I have Rosin in the field, so I can search for Jiaolong. Jiaolong gets into value. Pantara gets summoned. I add Jiaolong. Use Rosin's effect to not be destroyed, which triggers Jiaolong to be summoned to the field. 2 Rosin in my hand. Search for a Borger. Borger tags out Pantara. For Borger himself, Borger activates the effect to inflict 1500 damage. Boom. And he's dead. Then his turn, draw a phase. Inflict 15 again. Kaboom! The power of the C Shifter combo. Would you get a load of this hand? This hand is no bueno. The only thing that I can do is Maxi Shifter again. I'm going second again because I lost the coin flip. What else is new? So the only play I really have is to have him pass, but the problem is with him passing, I don't have any other play to do on my turn. So this is actually a really bad thing to have. If you have a shutdown for your opponent's turn and you have no follow-up, you may as well just cry because you don't have anything to do. You have to hope for a top deck, which on the bright side, this deck is very good at top decking. It's got a lot of good top decks. Rosin, specifically, or a card that searches for Rosin. Stake Your Soul, Rhoda, Durandal, anything. So it's Punk. I'm gonna Shifter and then see that to stop his play. Hopefully he summons at least one more monster to get me a card draw. He does. He has to get something else in the field or else he just loses. He's afraid that I'll just shut him down on my turn. I draw another Ash Blossom. Great. I draw another Ghost Spell. It's like, oh no. I have to attack with Rise Heart. Advantage Fenrir to mill 2 cards. Maybe something good. Maybe I missed something he needs. It's not looking good. He's searching. I Ash that. He Call buys that. I Ghost Spell that. I want him to have no play. I stopped him from doing that. He still has a play though. But it's not very much, which is good. He kills my right heart, that's fine. I have another turn to draw something good. It's Tikaboo. Not bad. But he was ready for that. Destroys my Tikaboo immediately. So I'm like, again, I don't have a play. Luckily he doesn't have a play either. I need a good top deck, and I got it. Stick your soul. Perfect. Target my Ash Blossom. He Maxes. I already paid the cost, so I can just Ash that Maxi. No card draw for you. Now I get my Rosin. Rosin searches for Borger. Borger tags Rosin out for Borger. I'm gonna burn for 15. Summon the Rosin. Push for damage. Now, I can link for Rock. Get my Rosin back. And I have the attribute to burn for 15 again. Now he's screwed. He has nothing else to do. So even though you brick pretty hard, you can still top deck into something very, very good. Alright, we're on the last replay that I have, and what do you know, guys? Guess what? I get to go first. I won the coin flip. I am the best player ever. So looking at this hand, my hand's pretty strong. I have Rosin, and I have Stake Your Soul, and Mad Love, with a Maxi. So that's pretty good. And now we're going against dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are very strong. My only play really here is for getting any card advantage, a card like gain without normal summoning, is to summon for Borger. So I'm just going to reveal a dark monster. Summon Borger. Get card value, get a card draw. I draw into Pressure Planet Race Off, which gives me Fenrir, which gives me an Earth monster. That's good. I summon a Rosin to get Valius. Link off Borger, get it back to my hand, and I loop to target Rosin, sending him back to the field. So what I did there is I wanted to protect my Rosin on the field to not be negated or destroyed, or whichever I have to do, and have Borger. Borger has more value on the field than Rosin does. The Rosin, what you want to do is you want to summon him with Rock to the field whenever to destroy a card for disruption. I'm gonna draw another card. I'm gonna Maxi on top of that. The reason why I went for card draw chain 2 is because, or no, sorry, I went for Maxi chain 2 is because he had nothing activated. Nothing was going on in his hand, so he had no indication that there was an Ash Blossom. So I'm like, I'm free to go for Maxi now. And well, you know, I draw an Ash Blossom. Crazy. Now I can negate his search. Card draw is so good every turn. He summons this Lost World Field spell. This has to go. This can give him so many opportunities to get his board going. So I had to summon Valius immediately. He chains the Miscellaneousaurus. I have to destroy that field spell. Very important. But he has another one, and I'm just really sad. Use the miscellaneous source effect to... what does it even do? Search or summon. I just ash it. I don't want to deal with that. So I use up my card destruction. I still have my rock though. Now when he summons a monster that's for his combo, I'm going to use Rock's effect to summon Mad Love. Because Mad Love, as you saw, he's got... I'm going to use the effect of Dark and Earth. No, sorry, not Dark. No. Dark and Earth. These two or these two. I have the combination. So what I want to do is I'm going to summon Mad Love with Vanquisher and use his effect to bounce this back to the hand. Gets a token. I get a card draw. I unfortunately can't bounce this because it's boosted by Lost World, but I can bounce this back. And it gets Mad Love to search for a Vanquish Soul Spell or Trap on top of bouncing this back to the hand. But he has Forbidden Chalice, and I get negated. So that's off the table. This is also really bad because his other effect is negated too, where during the battle phase, with Rock's effect, they can only target the highest attack Vanquish Soul monster, which is Valius, but since he's negated, they can actually attack this with no problem. So that's pretty bad. Summons Overraptor, gets another combo starter. I'm drawing cards though, he's taking the Maxi Challenge. And you don't want to give Vanquish Soul too many cards. Even though if you're going to give them this many cards, you better be able to kill them this turn, or else you're just going to lose out on value next turn. It seems like he's going for it. Link to link. Now this card is pretty scary with his boss monster. Every monster that gets destroyed by battle, he draws a card, and if I remember correctly, Superconductor Tyranno attacks all monsters like once each, and that gives him so much card draw. It's Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Summon, summon, summon. This was dumb. I should never use Magnum's effect to banish for defense because he can just attack every monster anyway, and he gets another card draw. So this was really stupid that I did this. I was kind of like, wasn't thinking properly. I'm like, oh wait, he can attack everything. I'm dumb. He gets Dolka, which has negates. He kills everything. Gets a card draw for everything. Barely leaves me alive. And I have all this card advantage now. Now I'm going to show you what you can do with such card advantage that just completely obliterates him when I'm clearly losing. But with all this setup, I pretty much win the game. I summon my Fenrir for free disruption. I summon Rosin in the column of Ultimate Conductor to threaten this destruction. He imperms. That's fine by me. Borger, again, we're gonna tag out with Borger to dodge the imperm. So we're going to get the search, and we're gonna summon himself to the field. But Dolka activates, he negates and destroys my Borger. So that's lovely, but that's fine. I chain Dust Devil. Dust Devil will put Rosin in defense mode, and I'm going to Book a Moon his Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. And as I'm going for that, I'm going to see if he's going to I'm going to see if he's going to take the bait and negate this too. He does. And even better, he activates Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. And when he activates both their effects, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm not going to Book a Moon any monster. I'm not going to do it. I don't have to. My monsters are Book a Moon. The only reason why he activated this effect now is because he thinks he's getting Book a Moon by Dust Devil. But I'm going to choose not to, because it says when you target a Vanquish monster, changing its battle position, then you can change the face-up monster your opponent controls face down. You don't have to do it. So if you just choose not to do it, nothing happens. Put him back. You took the bait, and now Kurikara. Like I said, Kurikara wipes the board by herself if they use their effects. The reason why I didn't go for Dust Devil is because I couldn't be able to tribute Ultimate Conductor Tyranno if it's in face on defense mode. So now that he activated his effect, I can tribute it. Returning brings back Valius. Valius pops a card in the field. Pop the Lost World. Now I'm just shy of lethal, but that's perfectly fine. I can easily just burn him with Borger and Snow Devil next turn. Devil Incarnate, Divine Incarnate. This, I didn't have to do this. I did not have to do this. I didn't have to bring back a monster to my field, but I'm like, sure, why not? I'll bring back whatever. But he has frame Gamma. I'm like, oh, he Gammas, that's fine. He can't use it next turn. Like, the monster disappears during the end phase. So I'm like, if you destroy my Kurikara, that's fine. I don't need it. Now he has 2 cards to work with. It doesn't matter. I'm Maxi for fun. Doesn't matter what he activates. I'm just gonna chain Borger into whatever he does. And now he's pretty much dead because I have 3,300 damage. Miscellaneousaurus doesn't matter. Nothing you do matters. Burn for 15. Chainsaw Devil, you are dead. Guns blazing. Boom, boom, boom. And there you have it. That is how you burst them down. And that's, my pupils, is how you play Vanquish Soul. Vanquish Soul is a very strong competitive deck still. It is, I think, tier 3, but it can easily get you master rank, even master 1 if you play it enough. If you play this deck maybe 30, 40 times, you'll understand all the combos and you'll play very well. It's very good at recovery, very good defensively, and very good control-wise. It is just outstanding. I have no words on how well this deck works. Even with all the crazy meta stuff going on right now, it can easily play through anything. So give this deck a try. If you learned something, please say so in the comments. It really helps me out. I really enjoy playing this deck, and I hope you enjoy playing this deck too. I'm going to play it more. I'm not going to quit Evil Heroes. Evil Heroes is still my favorite deck. I'm going to play it here and there. I'm just not going to play it all the time. I really like this. I'm actually going to do more different content in general. I'm actually going to probably do some live games or maybe some more replays or different decks in general. You're going to see more of this deck. It's here to stay. I really enjoy this deck. But if you guys like this video, it's very long. This is a very long video. I have no idea how long it's going to be. I did all this in one take. I have to use the bathroom. I'm hungry. I I had to get up. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for taking the time to watch my channel, to look at all the stuff I do. I really enjoy editing the videos. I'm still gonna do that. I'm not gonna just do complete full-blown commentary all the time. I'm gonna shape it up. New year, new me. But thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.